3. All right, so just hit record. This is Mage the Ascension, circa 2015 in Germany or Europe. And yeah, it's my first go at running Mage. I've run hundreds of other sessions of other systems, but yeah, been a fan of World of Darkness for a while. I thought I'd give it a crack. So we got 3 players here, just doing some character generation. So Tig, I believe you've already made up yours. Are you going with your Christina Rosen character, or you sort of revised it, or? That did come through, yeah. I've lost audio. Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good.
I can hear you just fine.
All right, really good. So Tig said just having some issues. Do you want to reboot and reconnect? I don't know, Tig. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think I'll try that one more time. It's really stopping and starting, and I can hear everybody else crystal clear. So
yeah,
we'll give it one more shot.
All right, yeah, we're just doing character generation, so that's cool. No stress. Reboot, and hopefully you see you back in a sec. He's already gone. All right, that's all right. Any questions? So, yeah, he's already made up a character on the side because he's played Mage before. So, as far as pre-gens go, he's not involved in the pre-gens. Says, yeah, you were looking at Akashiana, Nicholas.
Yeah, I think that sounds interesting. I'm imagining some sort of a doctor-like character, and just as I was reading this, it seemed like a supernatural healer could be a good thing.
Okay.
Is that the right option?
Yeah, that's fine. Akashiana kind of, they use martial arts and like yoga and Zen to improve their mind and body to move towards Ascension to become better. But I mean, you could be like a physiotherapist or a chiropractor, or you know, you're probably not likely to be in disease research or something, but you could be. You know, it depends how.
A specialist. I'm getting like amazing results, and no one understands why.
Yeah. David, is there any you had your eye on, or?
Yeah, I was leaning a little bit towards this pre-gen who's affiliated with the Cult of Ecstasy, if that hasn't been taken already.
Cool.
No, hasn't. So they use like music and drugs or meditation and sex or whatever, not in a dodgy way. They're trying to transcend this crappy reality and sort of become more. And that's that's cool.
Yeah, that works for me. Is there anything I need to do on my end to fill out more of the character in terms of points to get more dogs?
Yeah, for both attributes,
already good to go.
Yeah, there's for both attributes and abilities, you can spend some points to flesh it out. There's some already chosen for you, but yeah, there's some there because they're partial pre-gens, they're not full pre-gens.
Okay, I'll take a look and see. Is there any information posted around how point spending works? If it's like a 1-for-1 thing, or
yeah, it's just 1-for-1, and you've got 10 points.
For abilities and for attributes, is it also 1-for-1?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
So 2 is like average human.
Okay, got it.
And I've been pondering this chiropractor comment that you made. I've never gone to a chiropractor, but I think it could be super fun. So if you don't mind me not knowing anything about the character.
No, that's fine. So yeah, you just sort of massage the muscles around the skeletal structure and get them to walk better without
twist necks
being
and
in pain and stuff.
Spines. Yeah.
Yep.
And people go to those sort of to chiropractors or any other holistic medicine to heal all sorts of things. So I can see.
Yeah. Or like a sports doctor assigned to
exactly,
professional football team to you help people get it back into recovery after injuries and stuff like that. Yep, that's all good. I've got so
And
many
isn't
things
Mage
open.
the Ascension, not Mage the Awakening? So we're like aware of our powers and whatnot, right?
Yes. We'll start that you've all met. Yeah, I like to think of it that a regular person has a tool belt, and that tool belt has that's how they go about their day and their family and their job or whatever. And when you awaken, you figure out you've got an extra tool belt that helps you change reality. So you're still a human. You've just got more options available to you.
Right.
You can still get shot or have a car accident or get bitten by a vampire or whatever. You're not like superhuman. You've just got more options.
Not yet. Get high enough level, maybe.
Yeah. And even then, you generally got to prepare in advance. You can't just do it on the fly.
Oh yeah, well, that makes sense.
Okay, I'm back in action anyway, and I think all issues are resolved.
Excellent. That's good news. I work in IT, so I don't want to have wrestle technical difficulties on the weekend. It's like, come on.
Yes, yeah, understandable.
Once a week, we have a work meeting where there's like 70 people on the Zoom chat, and it's just like, this is amazing that this works without crashing every week.
I can imagine that could get quite hectic quite easily. Yeah.
Yeah, when you log in by default, you're muted, and there's only like 20 people have their cameras on. Everyone else just sits back.
Yeah.
And they try and outdo each other. Who's got the most interesting background?
I mean, look, you got to spice up meetings somehow.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, it's set in Germany or Europe 2015. It's modern world. There's cars, electricity, phones. It's pre-COVID, Brexit, Trump. But Google's a thing. Drive-ins are phased out. There's cinemas and Xbox and all the good stuff. But it is World of Darkness, so it's a little bit, some of the shadows in the alley might actually be a vampire, not just your imagination or a mugger. It's a little bit darker. Although the more recent World of Darkness books is like, well, we can't really make it darker than reality now. It's just darker in a different way. It's like, well, that's positive. That's reassuring. God. Yeah. So we will start with the premise that you know each other. Doesn't necessarily mean you're besties or anything, but you have met and you know each other, mages in this sense. So we've got Order of Hermes, Akashiana, and Cult of Ecstasy. So you're all traditions. There's like 9 traditions who are kind of the good guys, but every mage can alter reality, so they're all kind of heroic monsters, depending on your point of view. Yeah. Generally, when you do magic, you try and make it look like you're not doing magic. That makes it easier to do, because if too many people around you go, oh wait, that's, they can't do that, that's not reality, it makes it harder for you to do it. Like if you're healing someone that's been shot or cut, you can go, oh, they've just got their stuff off of them and brush it off like they've had cordial or a drink spilled on them, rather than actually be their blood. But that way it looks like you're just using a mistake or a regular accident, rather than actually having glowing hands and fixing their wounds in front of everybody.
Right.
So you try and make it look subtle, and that makes it easier for you to do and more likely to succeed. Because if you don't, you can get paradox, which you have side effects, and not good. But it's not the end of the world. You're not going to have a building fall on you if you stuff up a spell or nothing. It's not that bad.
Not at the level we're at, anyway.
Nah. But like if you shake someone's hand and try and electrocute them by putting electricity through your hand and you stuff it up, you're not going to, electrocute yourself, but you might flatten the battery on your car next time you get in it or something, or give someone else a shock because it might stay in your system, But it's what makes sense with what you did, if that makes sense at all. So, Nicholas, you can put up your attributes and your abilities. There's a few points to spend there.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Because, one's below normal, two's sort of normal.
All right. And so for the attributes, the 6 that are there, no, the 9 that are there have already been allocated. So I'm allocating 6 more.
An additional 15, yeah.
Oh, an additional 15. Okay. Got it. Oh, 3-1. Yes, got it.
Yeah, I had check boxes, but as soon as you alter the sheet, it all goes to hell and you have to reformat everything. So I'm like, I'm going to pull down this instead. The other option is you grab the printout ones I did and just open it in MS Paint and go to town. But, yes. I've got all the things open. Okay. So, was it Christina or Christina? Christina, you have a mentor. Did you have any thoughts about this mentor?
I did. Unfortunately, I didn't get as far as a name.
Okay.
But yes, the idea is that this is an academic who is already an established hermetic master who was on the lookout for an apprentice.
So like a university professor or something? Or?
Yes. The idea is that Christina is a doctoral student. She's working on that PhD, and that brought her to the attention of the Order of Hermes.
Okay. So this person's just your professor? They're not sort of lover on the side or older uncle or something? Or
no relation. They are just a mysterious person who kind of like wrote that. Oh, I noticed you said this in your thesis. If you want to follow the rabbit hole deeper, here's some readings, and just slowly inducted into the occult that way.
Okay, all right. I immediately got a vision of the professor from the Thor movies, but he is quite stereotypical now I think about it.
Yeah. Stellan Skarsgård, yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. So well, what's his name? All right. We can go with a guy that looks like Idris Elba. And a little bit, probably 10, 12 years older than you.
Yeah, that all sounds good. Oh, no, I'm thinking Michael for a name. Played a game of Mage with Happy Jack's crew, and everyone fan cast what they look like, and it's like, we are the prettiest bunch of mages. It was bizarre. All right. Face claims can be very, very fun, very strange at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. So, so much open. Yeah, Nicholas, David, any questions about anything at any point? Fire them at us. If I can't answer, Tog probably can.
Yeah, I think I'm good on the attributes. Abilities, it looks like I already had more than 10 points spent.
Don't worry about that. You can still add more. You get some. I spent some. These are partial pre-gens.
Okay, so, oh, gotcha. So spend 10 more
Yes.
again.
Yeah. I
And
just
then is
didn't want.
Spears going to be the same way? Add 3 more to Spears, or?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'll just keep working down the list then.
No worries.
I might want to know a little bit about what the different spheres are, and
Yep.
maybe a little bit about backgrounds, but we can get to that when we get to that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, correspondence is distance and space, so how things relate together. With that, you can do, like, you can get up to teleportation or know direction and distance to things. Entropy is to do with like fate and chance, a little bit, as well as death. Like, you know, what bad choices is this person making in their life? What are the chances they're going to have something bad happen soon based on their current behavior or decisions? Forces is like lightning and fire and physical kinetic energy. Matter is physical things like actual water and earth, rock. Life is pretty much anything to do with biology. Mind is thought and thought patterns, and it covers dreams as well. Prime is magic itself and kind of works best in conjunction with other things. Spirit is the spirit world and spirit creatures. And yeah, time is time. You can slow or speed down time, or if you use like correspondence in time, you can look through time. You can also just tell the time and try and figure out, oh, you know, how many hours is it gonna be to walk at this rate, or to work out this thing at this time. If any of that makes sense.
Yeah, that all makes sense. Sure. Yeah, I can work with that. And then, as far as backgrounds are concerned, is there anything there that I should know about? Kind of what, like, Destiny versus Arcane versus Node?
Yeah, I mean, resource is just your ongoing wealth. Out of all of this stuff is 1 to 5 dots. So 2 is not bad. 1 is, you know, you live in your car. 2 is you've got a small flat or something. Now, Arcane is how mysterious you are and how hard it is for people to track you. So it's kind of like you're staying below the radar, off the grid. Destiny is like your things will happen to allow you, that will make you get towards your destiny, which might not be a good thing. It may be, you know, you're determined to go to the dark side or whatever. And the higher, more points you put on it, the more I will change things to make that happen.
Okay, that makes sense.
Node's like a magical place that sort of generates magic quicker than others, but of course, that if anyone knows you've got a target on your back, because it's seriously valuable. But it's handy when you want to regen your points and stuff. Nicholas, allies is mundane regular people. They're not mage allies as such, unless I've got that one confused. And Sanctum is, you know, you've got a secret laboratory somewhere where you can do magic, where witnesses won't stuff it up, and, you know, people don't know about it is the default.
Yeah,
in your case, it might be like a training dojo.
Oh, yeah.
Or it might be a medical research lab, depending on which way you want to lean into. Either's completely fine.
And then resources is just like an abstraction of, can I get the things that I need?
Yeah, you with 2, you've probably got a part-time day job. You may have an old car and a small flat or something.
What do you think a 2 in past lives means? And should I bump that up to a 3?
No, that's up to you. I can tell you exactly what it means, but it's yeah. So you would have visions or hints of things from a past life, and there might be unfinished tasks or foes from a past life that I can bring into the plot.
Yeah, I think a 2's high enough then. We'll see where it goes.
You can also use past lives to get skills that you don't currently have.
Oh.
So
okay.
let's say
going a little bit more into poverty and a little bit heavier onto past lives.
So, like, if in a past life you were a consummate politician, but you're not in this life,
Yeah.
You can, if it's appropriate, you can use your past life score instead of your politics score.
Yeah, I like that.
That's if it's appropriate. If
to
you're
make
trying to
that.
do like current affairs, relying on a past life probably isn't your best shot.
Yeah, no, I see. It's really good at archaeology and not very good on Twitter.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with Tig, with Christina, I remember reading a story about Order of Hermes where they're like, you have to fake your own death and say goodbye to your family and start your new life and that. Are you sort of just carrying sort of that severe a change of lifestyle, or they're not quite so?
I'm saying that Christina is still very much an apprentice, like just in the door. I think that she'll undergo like the complete embracing of the magical life when she becomes like a proper magus of the order kind of thing. So she has all of that ahead of her kind of thing.
All of that good stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was reading it thinking, and these are the good guys? Wow.
Oh, like, yeah, the traditions are great for that. Like every Mage is the game of well-intentioned extremism. It's it's no matter how well-intentioned it is, it's pretty extreme no matter what way you're going.
Yep. All right. Okay. Princess. Yeah, so it's the game set in Munich, Germany, 2015. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted a more European feel for once because for years around PBTA games that were set in the States, and I just wanted something different. All right. Yeah, Nicholas, David, any questions? All going all right? Or
I'm working on the hardest part of character creation, the name. So I'll be just a minute on that.
oh, hang on. Nicholas, you can't put a sphere above 3 at the start because you've only got 3 in a retake because it's
Okay.
you can't control magic that well. So
Down to 3.
but I mean,
somewhere else.
Don't get me wrong, 3's good. You can do a lot of crap with 3. It's not bad at all.
I feel like with the past lives, I'm gonna crank a little into spirit. Then I imagine those are kind of ghostly type entities.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Let me just check something. Yeah. Lots of mind magic. All right. Hang on. Has Christina got some as well? Yes. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you'll need to do your nature and demeanor. Nature's what you really like deep down, and demeanor's how people will meet you at. It's either the person you project or first impression sort of thing.
All right.
And concept is just generally sort of what you like. But if you don't like that list, you can just think of one yourself.
think I'm all good to go on my end, as far as getting points spent is concerned.
Yep.
I'll need to take a look at kind of what nature, demeanor, essence, and concept refer to, but they seem to be kind of self-explanatory.
Yep. Essence, it's sort of what your avatar's like, which is like your inner soul or psyche. They've kind of changed what it is over the different editions, and it doesn't actually come up a lot. It's a bit weird, but nature and demeanor. It's just you're sort of inner and outer person, and if you role play, either you get experience points. It's just sort of what you're like.
Okay. Concept is also kind of a non-mechanical thing. It's just sort of like the type of person you are.
Yep. It's just role playing.
And nature was like the under the hood, and demeanor is what others see.
Yeah. Or what you deliberately project.
Right. Yeah.
For example, at work, I'm very different to what I'm like at home. So my demeanor is what I project in work mode because, like, I've had 11 jobs, and I don't think anybody in 10 of them knew that I'm into role playing. It's like, nope, I've got a work persona, and I don't talk about that stuff outside of work. That's all I talk about. But that's deliberate choice. So, mad scientist. Okay. Oh, hang on. A doctor mad scientist. That could be dangerous.
Who acts like a traditionalist. It's like, oh, what's really going on under the hood?
All right. Now, like, your appearance is one. That doesn't mean, you're deformed, you've got an extra head or anything. It just means you don't put any effort in. It's not a priority to you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's fine. Plenty of people do that, and it's all good. Hell, I do that. I'm not a great looking guy, and that's fine. So your average strength and stamina. So you're a little bit charismatic, good hand-eye coordination, perception. He notices stuff. Okay. Over to Klaus. Okay. So he's got weak strength but high stamina, so he's an endurance person. Okay. Wits. So he's quick-witted. All right. So Klaus, Enzo, Klaus, and Christina. I'm going to write this down somewhere. With Klaus, is he a musician? Is he a chemist? What's his sort of, how does he transcend?
I was thinking that he could be a Jungian psychotherapist.
Okay.
He follows what for 2015 I think might be classified as a rather outdated school of psychotherapy. He's very traditionally psychodynamic. And practices very classic Jungian strategies, lots of dream analysis and referring back to primeval archetypes and things that you might see on tarot cards. And so it's a rather antiquated way of going about things, but it makes for an entertaining character to watch compared to perhaps what modern psychotherapists actually do more commonly.
Okay.
So I'm thinking along those lines.
All right. So with an essence pattern, when you communicate with your avatar, whether it's through dream or whether it's through a chat program coming up on your computer, however you do it, with the pattern, it's all about structure and logical progression and things that all fit together nicely. Whereas dynamic, it's always like, nope, be open to change and change all the time. So
so here's what I was thinking with that, and maybe I'm interpreting it differently, so let me know. Is I was saying, like, my essence is very structured and patterned, but I see like new opportunities with it, and that's where the mad scientist nature comes from. So it's like, how
Okay.
do I interact with this extremely structured power that is that second tool belt to do new and exciting things, expressing myself, concept artist. Does that make sense, or is that off
No,
base?
that's all fine with
Okay.
your avatar and your pattern. Whether it's a voice in your head or a line on a computer or whatever, there's always a regular voice that's saying we need structure, we need organization, we need to
I'm like,
everything
the
should
heck
link
with the
together.
structure. Where are we going with
That
this?
doesn't mean you have to do that. It's just that's
Yeah.
just a regular voice in your head or part of your life when you're trying to do magical stuff.
Perfect. That's exactly
You're still driving. It's just that's just a regular voice in the back seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you have all met. We should probably get you to introduce your characters. If you just want to do like name, demeanor, and tradition. So in this case, affiliation.
Sure. I guess I'm first in the character keeper, so
Yeah, go
I'll
for it.
start. My character's name is Enzo. I haven't chosen the last name yet. I'll have that either end of the day or before the next game. My affiliation is Akashayana. Akashiana, thank you.
Yep.
And the concept for my character, they are deep into meditation and martial arts, but they express that as a chiropractor, kind of a low rent chiropractor. And what else did you want to know?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Klaus, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I am playing Dr. Klaus Hubert, who is a Jungian psychotherapist who operates from a rather old school interpretation of Jungian psychotherapy. He does a lot of things like dream analysis and, people coming into his office 4 to 5 times a week, that sort of thing. And he is a member of the Cult of Ecstasy, outwardly portrays a rather sober, quiet, thoughtful kind of demeanor, but when pursuing his own spiritual path, is involved in, well, it's the Cult of Ecstasy, right? So it's all kinds of messed up things. All kinds of consciousness bending things that are only vaguely legal. Is there anything else that people need to know about that?
No, that's a good start. And Christina.
Yes. The character's name is Christina Rosen Bani Solificatus, which is to say she's a member of the Solificatus House of the Order of Hermes. So a very traditional European style of magic. A 27-year-old doctoral student, has a master's degree in geology, pursuing a doctorate in geochemistry, I guess, chemistry and geology. And this drew her to the attention of one of the remaining Solificatus members of the Order of Hermes. She's driven. Her demeanor is machine. So she is working hard to get that doctorate, but also working hard to expand her horizons.
Okay. So it's 2015 in Munich, Germany. So we're going to say you met before. Something happened last year that tied you all in. Now, the default idea I had was there was a ghost that was targeting sleepers, so people that haven't awakened and become mages yet. How did it go?
I'm sorry, can you repeat? The ghost did what?
It was targeting sleepers or people that haven't awoken yet, became mages, so regular folks. Yeah. So there was ghost targeting. What happened? Was it at one of your workplaces? Did it target your sister? Did it kill a bunch of people? How good or bad? And how are you tied in, do you think?
I guess the
Any
first thing
ideas?
I'm
Chuck them out
trying.
there.
This is you said it was a ghost that's targeting sleepers in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe it was one of your patients or
That's kind of
customers
Yeah,
or something.
could go as one of my patients. I mean, if we have a chiropractor as well, I mean, there's no reason it couldn't be both of our patients.
Exactly. And I kind of feel like maybe those sleepers were coming in to see both you and I. Maybe it wasn't like targeting them and killing them. It was targeting them and maiming them, or
It was trying to communicate or something, and
yeah, exactly.
they lived in the same neighborhood and haven't. Yeah, okay.
I like the idea that the sleepers who are turning up at your respective clinics, reporting like these strange signs which you are divining to be like spiritual stuff, would be fellow doctoral students, because who else would need a chiropractor and a psychologist? And that's how I get into the loop as well. Christina is hearing these stories from fellow students and decides to investigate.
Okay, so that's how you all sort of met, and while you're investigating, asking questions, you notice, hang on, these other fellows are a bit odd, and you figured out your mages or whatever. We don't have to go into detail about that, but how did it go? Did someone die, or did the ghost get away, or did you find out as part of something ongoing, or was it just you have to pass on some messages and that was it?
None of us specialize in ghosts, do we?
I have a little bit of spirit, so I may
How
have
much?
hit the tip of the spear.
2.
Okay, maybe. It's just that I'm aware of some wraith mechanics, and I think it would be very interesting if we destroyed a fetter.
What is a fetter?
A fetter is something that keeps a ghost bound to this reality.
Oh, I like that a lot.
But it also keeps them emotionally coherent.
Oh, no.
So by destroying it, we might have weakened it, but we have also turned it further to the dark side.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But that's someone else's problem because it's not here anymore.
Maybe.
It might come back.
It might.
All right. So, you destroyed the thing. It's not going to bother anyone anymore. Ta-da!
What was a fetter, like, traditionally? What sort of an object, or is it even an object? Is it something you had to close your eyes to see, or is it something that exists in the material?
No. It might be something that meant something. That might have been a gift from one person to another. One of those people died.
It could be as
That's why
simple
there's
as
emotional tie.
a picture on a wall, or just any
Yes.
object. Okay.
It could be a person, place, or thing.
Okay.
Yep, that works. All right, so you think you fixed it and the ghost has gone away, and that leaves it open for me to possibly bring it back, or somebody affected by the ghost later. Jolly good. But at least you've got that background event of how you know each other. You're Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
Not. All right, that's all good. Hang of using OneNote. Will from the Gauntlet put me onto it. Many tabs open. Okay, so now bring it to the present day of 2015. I might get David. It's night time. If you want to read that out for us, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where is this located?
In the chat.
Oh, there it is. Fabulous. It reads, an anemic light is thrown on damp cobblestones before you. A dense fog rolls out slowly in the distance, creeping forward and enveloping the town, building by building. One by one, the lights in the distance extinguish as the fog encroaches until it threatens to overtake everything in its path, you included.
Right. So you're all there. It's night and it's cold, obviously, because it's fog. What are you doing?
Is it safe to say this is a non-natural fog?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And as it approaches a streetlight and envelops the streetlight is extinguished.
Well, yeah, the light's gone out. It doesn't mean it's disappeared to another reality, you think.
Right.
But
It's
it's only just happened, so yeah. The light's gone.
Okay.
And you don't have to do magic right now. You could just use whatever other skills you have, or go, screw this, I'm off, I'm running. It's all good. Play your character.
Well, let me see. Is there a way that I could figure out more about what in the world this thing is? I'm not sure kind of what all my abilities and options are exactly, but that's what I would like to do.
Yeah. I mean, in correspondence too, you can sort of see distance of things around you. So you can, where am I in relation to the end of the street, that building over there? Because that way, if you get some weird readings through the fog, there's something supernatural about the fog rather than like it might be a dimensional anomaly or something rather than, oh no, I'm getting all the normal readings.
Okay. So I know it's supernatural. Is there any other information that I could?
Well, it's supernaturally created. It may just be regular fog, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm at a little bit of a loss here. Does anyone else have any ideas?
I mean, two of you have mind. You could also just try to say, hey, is this some sort of presence, like ping sentient life sort of thing?
Well, and the thought that I had, and excuse my ignorance of the rules, so we'll see if you can guide this along, is we just dealt with that spirit, right? And
that was like a year ago.
That was a while ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, this could be some sort of spiritual phenomena. And I do have experience with past lives and ghosts, etc. I was thinking maybe there's a way that I commune with or somehow identify things as spiritual in nature. And so I'd like to assess it from that angle.
Yeah. So there's spirit sense, which is basically spirit one. You can just have a go at that. And you basically say, is there any sort of spirits nearby, either in the fog or around causing it or whatever?
Before I do that, are we all like in our individual abodes? Are we gathered at a pub?
No. You are on the street when this happened. So maybe you all just went to the cinema or something, or just had a meal, and then, oh, hang on, this fog's just blown out of nowhere.
All right. Thank you for that. Okay. So yeah, I would like to do my spirit sense. And so is that 1d10? Is that how that's going to work?
You've got 3 retakes. You roll 3 dice, 3d10.
Okay.
You can spend a willpower to guarantee a success, but you don't have to.
It's a 7, a 10, and a 5.
Oh, smashed it. All right, so you got 2 successes. So this ability, you can perceive the world of spirits. You can see auras. No, there's no spirits sort of nearby that you would see some ghosts in that, but they're just ghosts doing their own thing.
Yeah, that one's just in the pantry like it always is. So
yeah, that's just There's one over there. There's one over there, but they're not involved in this situation. They're not causing the fog. The fog itself is not a spirit.
So I definitely inform my companions that there's nothing spiritual or spirity about this.
Christina, you want to do something? Or?
Yeah. I'm trying to think though. When we say that it has enveloped the lights, it's hidden the street lighting from us rather than extinguished the bulbs.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Okay.
You don't have to do magic. You can go, let's get in the car and get out of here, It's up to you.
I think Christina, just for like later reference, is just going to take out her phone and just hit the record button. She's just going to record a bit of the scene around.
Yep, that's all cool. You can always check back on it later. Where is... I get used to everybody's names. So that was Enzo. Klaus, what's Klaus up to? You can just listen. You can, Yeah, you could do correspondence to see, is there some sort of spatial time dimensional anomaly? You could use mind to see if there's any sort of mental effects, like someone doing a mental power on you. Is this fog have a mind?
Yeah, I'd like to go with mind to see if this thing is acting kind of in a sentient fashion, or if it is something that is kind of moving on its own, perhaps summoned by a different entity. But I'm looking for any sign of self-agency with it.
So sense, thoughts, emotions. Yep, go for it. So again, you got a retake 3, so 3 dice.
Okay, and these are D10s, yeah?
Yes, yep. It's always
Okay.
D10s.
10, 10,
Oh,
7.
smashed it! Holy
Wow.
crap! That's impressive. All right. No, it doesn't have any sort of mind, but because you rolled so well, I'm going to say there was like a residual intent on it to sort of push it towards you guys. So whoever created it has imprinted intent to move the fog to move towards you lot. So it is a cover or diversion or something of some kind.
Okay, so something else has control of this thing, but it's not acting on its own.
That's right.
Oh, okay, got it.
I think I could do some detecting of life within the fog, something that's trying to throw up a smoke screen. Sense life. It's a 1 die thing.
Yeah, or you could just sort of stop and listen, see if you hear
Oh,
anything
yeah,
as well. You got
those-
good old
those
mundane
human
senses.
senses. Put the new tool belt down. Pick up the old tool belt.
But it's up to you what you want to do. I'm just saying, you still have all your human stuff. You got all your mage stuff as well, and
Yeah.
sooner or later, if you do major stuff, it can have side effects.
Okay. So don't do it too much. There is consequences.
Well, it's up to you. You see how you go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I would like to sense life then. It's a
Yeah.
1 difficulty, 3 dice.
Oh yeah.
It's a 10, a 6, and a 3.
That's 6 and a 3. So you have 2 successes. Yeah.
Is a success like just greater than 5?
No, you want 6 in this case.
6 or greater.
Hang on. What does it look like when you do your magic? Are you doing like yoga poses? Are you chanting in Latin? What does your magic look like, do you think?
Yeah, I do think that it is a walking meditation in this case. So there's I do have to give in to the pattern. I have to act part of that. And so I think there's just some deep breathing, probably some, do I want it? Okay, yeah. I do like the idea that maybe I do have to utter some sort of repetitive prayer.
Okay.
Yep, deep breathing, prayer,
Yeah.
walking.
So normally when you do magic, you have to kind of be careful that people aren't around watching or whatever, but you're in thick fog, so that's not really an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see, and you got 10 again. Okay. Yeah. In a sort of down an alley over there, there's a fading life sign.
Okay.
You can detect it from your 2 companions, quite strong as well as yours.
Yep.
But there's like what was human as depleting. It's dying.
Dying. Okay.
Or injured. Yeah.
Or injured. I'm gonna move in that direction with haste.
You're telling them anything, or you just
Oh
go?
yeah, absolutely. Just over here.
Oh no!
And then I take off.
Christina sees somebody running into the fog, and it's just like right behind them with like the camera just bouncing
Exactly.
as they follow along.
All right. Klaus, are you staying still and watching, or are you going along? Or
I'm going to kind of go along and stay close with these people.
okay. Okay, yeah, there is a young man in his 20s, and he's says some sort of neck wound, quite a bit of. There's like a spray of blood, but
Oh, yeah.
the wound itself appears to be closing,
Uh,
and you can hear someone running off.
Wound is closing. Okay, so my initial reaction was to apply pressure, go into the mundane practice of medicine, and try to stabilize this person.
Well, you can still do that.
I'm going to do that and then point in the direction that I hear whoever's running off and say, someone's running off. They're in that direction. And I'm going to take care of the victim.
Okay. So you're just trying to stabilize them. They've lost a lot of blood. I'm not going to get you to roll. That's fine. You can stop them from dying, but yeah, they need to go to hospital. They've lost a lot of blood. It is weird the way the wound closed.
That is super weird.
Christina and Klaus, what are you up to?
Is there any obvious means by which this kind of fog thing can be dispelled or barred in some fashion?
That's a good question. You don't have forces, so you can't use like a wind to blow it away. Let's have a look at time. Is there something in time you could do?
I'm also curious about entropy for that, if you can. I'm going to read entropy while you do that.
Using entropy on material things to kind of get rid of them is fairly high level.
Is it? Okay.
You can alter the flow of time on the fog, I suppose. Well, because I mean, it's just fog. You shouldn't need forces just to affect water. You've got matter. Yeah, I'll let you do a time magic roll to because the fog will disappear naturally with the general temperature of the air. You're just speeding up that process. But you will need at least 2 successes. So if you want to roll your 3 dice, Klaus, you can do some time magic. But what's it look like when you do your magic? What do people see?
Let me think here. I think that it's
Have you got headphones and you're sort of grooving the music, or are you snorting different things and getting off your face, or I don't know. What else?
I think that it's very dramatic and theatrical. Like I strike these theatric kind of poses and just kind of joust my arms forward with my palms.
It's a bit like interpretive dance or something.
a bit along those lines, yes, something like that.
Okay.
So we're rolling 3 dice here. We're looking for
at least 2
7 and
successes.
9.
You got 2.
Okay.
Okay, and you need, it's coincidental because there's no one around. It's just 6 or more. Yeah, so you got 2 successes. Yeah. All right, so you use time to speed up the natural dissipation of the fog. So that starts to clear up. Okay. Enzo stabilizes the person. Yeah, but they need to go to hospital. They're no longer dying, but they're not well. They've lost a lot of blood. They need to rest and probably have a blood transfusion because they lost a lot. Christina, what are you up to?
Yes. Christina really doesn't want to chase a person. That's not her style. She's just muttering "Scheisse" repeatedly under her breath. Is there a flow of air being created by the dissipation of the fog?
Yeah, it probably would be because this person is moving quickly.
Ooh, okay. I have a rote, Anemoi Mine, which is very quickly, realizing this, rather than give chase, Christina is going to ground herself firmly, like take up a particular stance,
Right.
squared shoulders to be able to like speak clearly and properly with a imperious voice. And she is going to command the Anemoi, the wind gods of Greek myth, to whisper to her ear the nature of this person's trajectory, basically like to keep tabs on them. So a correspondence and forces effect.
Okay.
Level 1 as it's perception based.
Yeah.
That only means I'm running one. I'll expend a willpower and roll a die. And that is just going to be 1d.
I mean, I would let you roll expression or etiquette if you can sort of do it in a dramatic or way to sort of add to that roll if you want.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Let me check for etiquette actually. How am I there? So that would be charisma or manipulation etiquette.
Yeah.
I'll go manipulation. I am telling them what to do. Sorry here now. 6, okay. 5. And roll. That's a 7 and a 9, and my oh no, sorry, no, I'm looking at Klaus's. Where's my one? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
A 9,
so you can add
6,
like
a
4
9, a
successes
6.
to your mage roll.
4 successes and the willpower that I spent.
Yeah. So, okay. So you want to know what direction they're going?
Basically, that the gods of wind would whisper the details of this person's progress to me.
Yes, they are. Basically, say the dead thing is running faster than a human towards its haven underground.
Dead thing kind of takes her like another ghost. Oh, not again.
No, it could be a ghoul, could be a few
but
things.
like she's
But
so
that's their
she's taken
perception
unaware,
of what
but
it is.
she has an approximate idea of the direction that it's running in and that it is heading underground. So she's immediately thinking like the I believe Munich has a
subway.
A subway system.
Yep.
She's just going to whip around and tell the rest of them it's going to the subway.
You don't have to chase her, but it's up to you. But yeah,
Oh no,
not
Christine, you could not pay Christina to chase somebody through the dark streets of Munich at night alone.
Fair enough. All good. All right. So yeah, the fog is dissipating. You're there with this person that needs medical attention, but not urgently. You could just you could call an Uber at this point. Are they Uber in 2015? I think so. You could call a taxi, whatever, or an ambulance. Yeah. What do the three of you want to do?
Christina, still cursing under her breath, is going to stop recording and then delete the video on account of having found it a grievously injured person. That's evidence. That's not worth her while.
Okay.
As for this person who's injured, I mean, have we kind of got any information on him or spoken to him? Because otherwise, I'm going to be doing that.
So they just watched something at the cinema. They came out and then someone bashed their head into the wall, but they just feel sort of dizzy and weak.
Interesting. Okay. Where was the cinema that they walked out of?
Oh, it's only like a block away.
Okay, so they were attacked kind of like right here. Can I maybe try to find where exactly they were attacked so that I can kind of get out there and I don't know, maybe try to, if either of us can kind of connect to the sort of emotional or spiritual residue of the area, kind of find anything out about the person who attacked them?
You could do. He was sort of only attacked sort of 10 feet over there.
Okay. Well, I'll go over there and see what I can identify, either through mundane investigation or through magical means, I suppose.
What happened there? All right. So yeah, you can have a look around. You can see some scuffling spots on the ground where, it looks like the foot heavily went in one direction as they were shoved sideways against the wall. There's a bit of blood and hair on the wall where their heads smashed into it. There's very little sort of footprints of the attacker, like they were very light-footed.
So
which is odd. They were strong enough to smack them against the wall, but not put a bit of weight on the ground, sort of thing.
Interesting. Okay. So very strong, but also light on their feet is kind of what I'm picking up on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any indication of where they went or where they ran off to? I don't know that you.
That's what Thingy just told you. Christina said, they were going that direction.
So,
going down to
the
the
subway. Yes, the subway. Okay,
Yes.
got
Yeah.
it. In that case, I am inclined to head that direction and see if I can identify anyone who has maybe guilt on their conscience or vengeance on their conscience or anything along those lines. Apologies if that's not within the scope of my abilities. I'm just not really sure what I can and can't do. So I'm kind of figuring it out, trial and
hang of
error.
it. Yep. You got mine 3. You got probably a better chance than most people on the planet figuring that stuff out. So you're going to head in that way. Does anyone call like a taxi or a ambulance for the?
Yeah,
attack?
I would like to, because I just kind of helped stabilize this person.
Yeah.
Did they have a cell phone? Could I use their cell phone to like call 911?
Yeah. You can call 911 and this person's at this address.
Exactly.
They're not bleeding. They've just lost a lot of blood because the wound is healed back up.
And then just hand them the phone and say, when the ambulance arrives, you'll be in good hands.
Yep.
And then I will also pick up the chase in a slow, leisurely manner. Like,
all right, so heading that way. Christina, are you going with them or are you going somewhere else? I don't know.
Christina, you could not pay Christina to be alone on the dark streets of Munich, so she is like catching up as fast as she can.
All right, so head towards the subway. I think so many notes.
I think there are like you can help.
S-Bahn is above ground and U-Bahn is subway. Yep, so there's a U-Bahn. What?
I have a mechanics question.
Yep.
I think you can like help other wizards, right? Or other mages.
Yeah.
I also am pretty good at the mind sphere. Can I help assist in some way with my colleague here, Klaus?
You certainly can. So you head down to the subway and you're looking around. Shit. Oh, no. Yeah, you haven't been sharing enough. Present. Okay, so Munich subway. Less people, like half that amount of people. That's better.
Mm.
Okay, that one. And let's see, mind. Oh man, it's so much easier with PDFs than physical books. Okay. Read surface thoughts. Yep. So that's like a mind 2 effect. Because it's so you're just sort of looking around. I mean, if you're doing it together, you could sort of hold hands or just sort of brush your elbows against each other so that they're touching, and then you can kind of look around the area.
Is it a relatively unoccupied sort of subway once you get down there? Like it's nighttime, not a lot of trains running, or is it fairly?
Yeah, there's not a lot of it. There's like you can see about 10 people, and you can see sort of more people looking further away. But there's there's not a huge amount of people down here.
Okay, got it.
Doesn't hurt to try. There's not. Most people are kind of. It's nighttime in the subway, so people are kind of deliberately not paying attention to each other. So everyone's just doing their own thing, wanting to get home. Do you want to do your mind magic stuff? Or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll that. Is that just the 3 dice I get for mind?
Yeah, yep. 3 dice for Rita, unless you can spend 1 for willpower to guarantee success, but you don't have to. Especially when you know the other guy's helping you.
Yeah. I'll just roll the 3 here. Goodness gracious, I'm lucky today. 9, 10, 9.
Wow.
Very nice.
You did say you're helping, so Enzo, you want to roll yours as well? Let's see what we can get total. What is this?
Yeah. I mean, that's 7 and a 10. Those are good numbers.
Like 5 successes between the two of you. You can, take your time and have a good look around, so you're not like rushing it. So, yeah. The people here are tired. Some of them are hungry. Most of them are tired. They're not sort of hiding their thoughts, because who the hell hides at their time in the middle of the night? It's what you'd expect. You're not sensing any like hate or hunger or anything like that. At this point, you would think they're gone. At this point, it looks like. I'll just check. It just says surface thoughts. So. A couple of them, sort of down the farther end, has thought, "Wow, that guy ran past quickly. They must want to get home quick." But yeah, that's it.
Can Christina check the train timetables to see if he could possibly have gotten on a train, or would he still be somewhere around the station?
Yeah, I mean, there's still trains like every 15 minutes. There's not one moving sort of within the last minute, so it's more likely he's somewhere in the station. But the station's got tunnels all over the place. It's yeah, plenty of entrances and exits, unfortunately, including to the sewers. But yeah.
Yeah, Christina's going to like jog over to where the two guys are and go like, whoever it is, they're definitely still around here somewhere. Couldn't have taken a train.
Enzo will follow, and just using mundane investigation skills, kind of looking around, seeing what can be learned.
What you got? Just trying to think what investigation skills you've got. You haven't got investigation.
Yeah.
You've got
No, I'm not very good at this, actually.
You got alertness, so if he's about to jump out and stab you or something, you could roll for that. But,
Yeah.
but he's not.
Well, I'm going to lean on my newfound favorite tool belt then. I'm just going to try Sense and Life one more time.
Okay.
Which means that your friend and colleague here just starts chanting and moving.
It doesn't have to be loud, but yeah.
Right. This time it's under my breath because there's like an audience here. So keep it on the down low. A 9 and 2 2s.
All right, so you're getting slightly weaker, like senses of life because people are tired, but just that. It's just tired people, and these two who are not tired because probably your adrenaline's up.
Right. Yes. And no fleeing life form. Is that what you're saying?
No, not that you can see within sight. No, because it's not like I detect the city. It's only sort of generally in your area. So nah.
Yeah. Well,
Either.
better than my investigation. So I'm pleased with that.
I mean, depending how you look at it, good or bad, it doesn't seem like they're here anymore. But
that's not a bad thing. I mean, it might not be a good thing, but it's not a bad thing.
Means they're not attacking anybody nearby either. So
exactly.
Klaus, doing anything? Or?
Is it safe to say that we've kind of hit a dead end here as far as tracing this individual is concerned?
It looks like it. Yeah, you could possibly ask security in the morning to get a look at the cameras if you want to bullshit, pretend you're police officers or something. But other than that, yeah.
Okay. And I don't suppose there's any kind of chance of accessing some kind of subconscious memory of the assailant from the guy who
yeah, you could do that.
Struck by them.
It'd probably be being taken to hospital or at least emergency ward by now. That's an option.
If we can access him, it's worth a shot. If you genuinely didn't see the guy, then that's that. But maybe he might have, or maybe he heard something or smelled something that is not accessible to his.
Or what about the two that it ran past? Maybe you could access their visual memory of what darted past them.
Yeah, that's an option.
I'm into it. We can go do that then.
You would probably have one of you would need to talk to them to get them to kind of think about it.
I will interview while you pull the information that you need.
Sorry, I just envisioned Christina there with the GoPro. Just
yep.
No. Christine leans into Enzo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leans into Enzo and says, "Tell them that he stole my wallet or something."
Who stole your wallet?
The man,
the running man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So then I do walk up and say, someone just stole my wallet. Did you see anyone come through here recently?
All right. So that'll be... Are you giving details, or are you pouring on the emotion like, oh, man, Are you going for emotion and drama, or are you going for details about
details?
What happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
where I was.
That would be manipulation and expression. So 4 dice.
Okay. I'm pretty good at this mundane stuff. 4 dice. Maybe I'm not so good. 1 6.
Well, you got 1 success. So they say, he was about this tall, kind of darkly dressed in some sort of long coat, ran that direction. And that's fine. There's still kind of a couple of seconds of them thinking about the memory where Klaus can do his mind stuff. But you are kind of in front of them, Klaus. So how are you doing your magic or making it look like you're not doing magic?
Okay.
I mean, as a suggestion, you could be listening to music and you're just pretending you're there, but not really into the conversation, but you're actually doing magic through the music or something.
That's a good way of going about it. Yes. Yeah, I know I have maybe some kind of instrumental going on, and then there's sort of their speech is sort of essentially overlaid on top of the instrumental, and it creates this composition that I click into or something like that. Yep.
No, that sounds cool. All right. Roll your 3 dice for Rita and see if you
9,
can.
8, 2.
Some good rolls here. Yes. All right. You get a solid look of this person, probably in their. It's a white guy in his 20s. It looked quite pale. there was like just a flash in the eyes for just a second, and had like a long black coat on, but it's pretty scruffy. Looked like he'd been sleeping in it. But you've got a solid image of what they look like.
Okay, so a solid image of a guy in a black coat, you said?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so 20-something scruffy white guy,
Okay.
and looks like he's been sleeping in his regular clothes. On that note, we'll have a bio break. Is 5 minutes all right, or you want 10, or?
5's fine for me.
Same.
5 is all good.
All right, I'll see you back in 5.
What is sympathetic magic? -1 DR.
The best example is like a voodoo doll. If you've got someone's hair or blood or whatever, you've got like a link to them, even if they're not in the room or even in the city. So you can do the magic on that stuff, and it'll go through to them.
Okay. And then fast casting versus taking time. I
Yeah,
kind of
so
wonder.
fast casting is in the middle of combat, whereas
Okay.
normally it's presumed you take 30 seconds or whatever.
All right. So not. Yeah. Okay. So if you're just like, for example, when I was trying to sense things through the fog, taking 30 seconds, I did not need to fast cast.
No,
But
you were taking time. Same as when you're looking around the subway, you're not just going, you're taking your time, having a look around. You got, so you get that bonus in that case.
Is the difficulty rating, is that like the target you're trying to hit on the dice? So is that why it was a 6 instead of a 5?
I've got all those on sheets here, so I just kind of glance down.
Yeah.
But it's more important that you guys sort of focus on what your characters are actually doing, and I'll look after the mechanical side of it. I could all read them out, but it's not fascinating.
No, that's fine. I figured I had a minute of dead air. I'd ask a few questions I had.
It's all good. So now, is everyone back or?
Yep.
Yep, back on my end.
Jolly good. I just have to record something. When you were doing your magic, there was like a metallic echoing sound that you don't normally hear. It happened each time you did magic since you first saw that fog. Other than that, everything else happened as it was. And that's not usual. It hasn't happened before. All right. So we can skip to the next day where you meet for brunch or something if you like.
I'm even going to say that having an incredibly driven mindset, Christina is actually just going to like invite them over for the night to like get around the table, write out ideas, do a bit of brainstorming, or maybe even just first thing in the morning if they're not willing to pull an all-nighter.
Yeah, I kind of need my sleep, but I'll be over bright and early.
I would be willing to stay up with you, but I'm afraid that my company might not be very helpful. I think my character is the type who is going to be less like, all right, let's get down to business, and I'm more likely to sit back on a couch with a bit of absinthe and say a bunch of nonsense that is probably not very logical or helpful, but sounds deep. But given 2 hours, I eventually come around and say something that contributes.
When the absinthe has well and truly kicked in, yes.
All right.
But yes, okay. I suppose that the following morning, anyway, we get together.
All right. So at a cafe or at Christina's place?
I'd say Christina's place, simply because we can talk more openly there.
Yep. What's your place look like? Is it like a flat or an old house that needs work, or is it a storm cellar?
It's a fairly compact flat, cheap enough rent. It would be Spartan if she hadn't been living there for like the previous 2 years and added in a little bit of decor. But it's a 1-bedroom kind of kitchenette apartment kind of thing.
I lived we had a small flat once, and it was so small you could sit on the toilet and wash your hands at the same time because the sink was so close to it, and you didn't even have to stretch. It's just like right there.
Oh no, I've seen flats which I'm fairly sure aren't legal where you can cook dinner without leaving bed.
Sure.
Gotta love student accommodation. But anyway.
I'd like to add one thing to your flat that I saw at a place I did not rent when I was looking for a place in my early 20s. And that is they like cut up this place that must have been a much larger place. And the way they did it, there was a sink like on one of the walls in the living room. And it's like, why is that there? It doesn't do anything.
That's the spare sink for emergencies. Yes. But yes. So that is Christina's hodgepodge kind of thing with a couple extra like book stands and shelves about the place.
Are they academic books, or are they like Dale Brown's Chains of Command or something?
Oh, like one side of the apartment is atlases and various geographic and geological texts, and then the other one is just the wildest stuff you could conceive of.
Alrighty. All right. So you're having breakfast or brunch at Christina's.
And Christina has just like there is more paper on the table than there is breakfast. And she's trying to like bullet point out everything that we know for sure. Like on one page, just circled in like big red marker is dead thing. And she's kind of looking for clues from everybody else as well.
And so one of the things I'm really curious and concerned about is the way that wound closed up. I don't know if you all saw that, but that was not natural.
The fog was natural, but it wasn't naturally created because it wasn't foggy that night. It just sort of came out of nowhere.
You said that the victim's wound like closed in an unnatural way as well, right?
Yeah. So there was no wound at the end, and you saw it. There was a wound when you first saw it, and it closed in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So on another sheet, she's going to write down magic ? Brackets noise ?
I've heard that noise too.
Yes. Going to write down train and put an X through train. So subway. Where can you get in the subway without using a train?
There's about 20 entrances around the city.
I'm assuming that we also get like the description of the guy as well.
Yeah, I can. And I mean, I don't know if I have the ability to draw out a decent rendering of him or not, but I'll do my best to describe it, if nothing else.
Class, okay. With all of this like evidence gathered, I would like to make like a wits investigation check.
Sure.
Specifically, like focusing on like all of these things together. Specifically, like the subway, the appearance of this guy looking kind of scruffy, the location of the attack, the presence of the fog on like where there should not be fog, and just try and like.
Well, the subway entrance is only like 2 blocks from the cinema, and Midland Cinemas in town. They were attacked sort of halfway between both.
We have a window for the attack as well, kind of after the film left, before the next train was meant to go. We were there, I guess. We know what time things happened at as well.
Yeah.
So like all of these clues together, I'm basically going to try and see, is there essentially I want to try and see if we can establish if this guy is like living down in the subway, or what is the supernatural connection to the subway. There's something there, she feels. So she's going to roll 7 dice for that. And I will roll. That's a 9, an 8, an 8, and a 1. So that's 2 successes.
Okay. It does seem like the person's using subway to get to and from town or victims, and they had used it before because the timing is just a bit too spot on. So any supernatural elements of subway, maybe. The subway isn't sort of supernatural in itself. It didn't itself appear related to the fog. Whether this person created the attacker created the fog or not, you don't know. If they didn't, it's certainly convenient. But it was definitely created with magic.
Yes, and we suspect that they have some form of magic in how the wound was healed.
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out whether it's cosmology or occult to figure out what sort of creature or person it was. You either. Does it Enzo have any? No. Not cosmology, not occult. Klaus has occult if he wants to have a roll.
I do, yeah. I think I have 2, or is it 2 in occult?
Well, it looks like you got 1, but you can roll intelligence plus occult.
Oh, intelligence.
You got all the stuff on the table. You're sort of thinking, what do I know about people? And
Okay, so that's 4 dice total then.
Yep.
All right. 9 and a 10 is 2 successes, I think.
Yep. Okay. Because you're a cult of XD there, I think you would have heard about it because of you sometimes go to the same parties. The wound closing you've heard about before. It could either be a ghoul or a vampire. Because you've been to plenty of raves and night parties and stuff, and you've been warned about those sort of creatures from other Cult of Ecstasy members.
Interesting. Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean they created the fog or not, but that certainly covers how the wound was closed.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'll communicate that to people as an idea. The question then just becomes, what do you do to track this kind of thing? You said it was either a ghoul or a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay. Do either of you know anything about those kinds of things?
No, I wonder. I wonder kind of about the spirits/past life angle. If I could leverage some past life knowledge on the, but I don't know.
Yeah, you could do. You could say have I had memories of coming across these sort of things before? Ever seen this sort of thing? I'm going to say intelligence plus past lives, so 6 dice in that case. You can sort of sit and think about.
Yeah, and I guess remember a past life where maybe one of my past lives I was the victim of a ghoul or a vampire. That's kind of making sense to me.
Well, that's what you're trying to remember if you've come across this sort of thing before. Of course, see how you roll.
So 6 dice.
Yep.
No,
2 10s.
2 10s, yeah, and a 9.
Yeah, you've come across ghouls before. They often are created by vampires and work for vampires, and their reward is becoming a vampire eventually after decades of being their slave, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you got your chest and your guts ripped open by a ghoul, nearly died, but a friend saved you in that life. They were attacking people at night in town, and yeah, you nearly died fighting one. But
with my previous. Oh, hi. I'm sorry. I think I dropped out for just a second.
Yeah, you have just a brief memory of seeing one of them lick like a ghoul lick another ghoul, and then the wound just disappeared.
Oh yeah.
Before soldiers rode in on horses, so this could be like Ming Dynasty from centuries ago.
Yep. So I share that memory with my colleagues then, and say that this really seems like ghoul-like activity to me.
Okay.
Which, where there's ghouls, there's probably vampires, at least one of them.
Right.
But I mean, it was clever enough to get the hell out of Dodge when you 3 rocked up. So it's not
not the mindless
flesh eater,
variety.
or at least not all the time. As for the metallic ringing in the ears when you were doing magic, yeah, there's no link between that and ghouls, and you 3 have never experienced that before.
Still happening to this day?
If you've done magic this morning, then yes.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a knock on the door.
Yeah, Christina will shuffle away from the table and just like partially open the door, just like a sliver, just to like stick her head around and see who it is.
It's Michael, your mentor / professor.
Oh yeah, no. She's going to like spin her head around and just shout into the kitchen. Michael's here. I've told you about him. Be on your best behavior. And then just like opens the door and says, Michael. What an unexpected surprise.
Do I know Michael?
Oh, he's a university professor. You would have seen him around if you went to uni at all. You've known Christina for a while. You probably saw him chat to her before and then leave or whatever. He's a nice enough fellow in a bookish, academic kind of way.
Okay.
I can get this bloody picture to come up.
What is he a professor of? Like, what field does he work in?
Like geology and earth sciences stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'd say he's doing he's more on the chemistry kind of things. He's an alchemist.
There's a picture. Ta-da! That's what he looks like.
Okay.
Nice.
Don't need to share that anymore.
I imagine that at some point I have made myself a cup of tea, and I'll raise it in recognition. Doctor, a pleasure to meet your acquaintance this early in the morning. How are you?
Troubled, but well enough. And it's you're good as well.
I am. If you'd like to sit down, I have enough loose leaf to put together another cup for you, if you'd care.
No, I can't stop long. I just wanted to ask you three about something. When I've been indulging in the various practices, I've had this weird metallic echo the last couple of days. Have any of you had that? Or is it just me?
Only since last night.
Only since last night.
Yours for the last couple days.
Hmm.
Where were you a couple days ago when you first noticed it?
He describes another area of Munich. It's like 10 minutes from here. But,
would Christina recognize that as being the sanctum or not?
Yes.
It's the sanctum. Okay, so it's happening inside the sanctum. Yeah, no, Christina, like immediately back over to the table, noise, arrow, sanctum, exclamation mark.
Oh dear.
Swigs another cup of coffee.
Okay. He's like, yes. I've actually got to go out of town for a few days to go to some meetings. I was hoping you three could have a look around, try and figure out what's happening, because I've met a couple of people, other practitioners, and yeah, it's like it's not hurting us, but it just seems to be getting louder and more frequent. So something's off somewhere. If you're willing to have a look, that would be good. I can't because I've got to go out of town. Is that all right? Is that suitable?
Of course, Master Magos.
Enzo.
Oh yeah, no problem. We'll check it out.
If you have any expenses, use this. And he throws a credit card down on the thing.
I casually pick that up, and
yeah,
that'll be useful.
He's not like super rich. Like you're not going to be able to buy a car with this or anything. It's just for everyday stuff, you know. He's doing all right, but he's not.
A helicopter. Yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah, he's not Bruce Wayne. He's just a uni professor.
Right.
But all right, he's like, good luck, and I'll be back in about a week. And he nods at Klaus and heads off.
Well, I think we have more of a lead than we started with.
Yes, but now less friends to help us fix it. Typical. Typical.
Yeah, he has sort
he's
of
all great
dumped
for
things
like
on you before.
riddles and mystic messages, when the going is good, but something strange happens and you're looking for an explanation and he's gone. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's an important sale on at Harrods, and he has to be there.
But anyway, kind of like shaking her head and looking back at the sheet. So they might not be connected.
Yes, that's
So,
possible.
Do we focus on the ear ringing, or do we try and find this
Well,
vampire ghoul?
there's always going to be vampires and ghouls, and they are not always going to be in my head. This is in my head right now.
No, when you think about vampires and ghouls, you would have heard about them creating fog or becoming fog. There's plenty of stories in mythology and occult books for that sort of thing. So that seems likely that guy did create the fog. But the metallic ringing, yeah, that may or not be linked to the vampire or not.
The timing's really coincidental, though.
Has anybody casted magic before last night? So, because Michael was saying it's been affecting him a couple of days, but we only found it last night. Is it spreading?
It's possible. You've had two locations where it's been happening, over in that suburb and from 2 days ago, and this one last night.
I've been busy with my thesis, so I haven't been practicing the arts much, so I couldn't tell.
I mean, as crazy as it sounds, you could go to different suburbs around the city and do some minor magic and see if the metallic ringing goes off.
Yeah. Kind of try and triangulate where it's loudest.
Right. I think that Christina has a rote to help with this. Forces of Earth, which is essentially to find ley lines. It's forces, matter, prime, and correspondence, and it's basically to find ley lines or nodes in their nature, the flow of prime through a city.
Okay. That sounds pretty neat.
So she's like heading over to the coat rack, like preparing to put on a coat and spend the day walking around the town, trying to check these ley lines. And I suppose the method she'll be using to do that is formulae and math. She's going to be looking at kind of like a geomancy kind of thing. She's going to be looking at how the buildings interact with the streets and how they would shape the flow of energy in a vicinity.
Anyone asks, you're just geocaching on your phone. You're playing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Pokemon Go.
Just taking photos, sketching some buildings. Nothing strange happening here.
Now, is the other two going with her, or are they doing their own thing for this day or whatever?
I'm inclined to go with. I have a question. Now I see that one of us has life. At least one of us has life as a sphere, and if we're dealing with a ghoul, that thing I think feeds on its vampire lord's blood on some level in order to obtain some kind of semblance of unlife. I think.
Yes. It gets powered up by it.
Right. Now, I wondered if we might be able to detect a ghoul by kind of utilizing life spheres and saying, hey, your blood doesn't have actual life in it, or something like that.
I'm thinking no, because it's dead blood, but I'm going to defer to Tig's expertise here.
Well, I guess I would think that would be the tip-off. Like, you would notice that the blood is dead. Like, you would not detect life in it the way you would normally expect to see.
So if we got a lineup, and I could stare at the lineup and say, that one has life, that one has life, that one doesn't.
Yeah, you can detect it. Yeah, if the ghoul's nearby, you can go, why is that guy not detecting any life?
Yeah.
You can
Or at
certainly
least
do
less
that.
life.
I think Tig's having connection trouble.
I'm back. I'm back.
All right, cool. Klaus was just wondering if I could use life magic to detect like the vampire blood in the ghoul, but I'm thinking no because it's dead blood. But what do you think for that one?
Vampire stuff is typically like sphere combinations of matter and life. If you were familiar with, like, if you'd encountered vampire vitae before, you could probably get the resonance off of a prime signature.
Yeah, which we don't have. Yeah. Yeah, so you can use life to detect if it's that guy's dead or not, which means they're either ghoul or vampire or something else. What else can you do? You can use your mind, of course, to who's thinking, oh, that guy looks like a tasty bag of flesh.
Yeah.
Because ghouls aren't super good at hiding their thoughts.
I think mind and spirit do aura stuff as well, and aura reveals if something is supernatural or not.
Yes, there's that option too. If any of that's useful to you, Klaus.
Okay. Well, I'll certainly tag along for the time being then. And
I mean, you don't have to. You can go do something else for the day, and you guys just keep in touch by mobiles. If you see anything, if you want to go and do something else, that's up to you.
Well, I'm just trying to think if there are any other leads that I could follow up on, kind of independently.
Weren't you going to talk to the guy in hospital and get his impression of the attack?
That's
you don't have
true.
to. It's just you could say, no, I'm going to go and get baked today. You play your character how you want.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, no, I'm just kind of probably looking for a little bit more like, oh, I could do this, or I could do this just because I haven't played the system before.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that sounds reasonable. I'll go. If this guy hasn't been discharged from the hospital, then I'll see if I can find him.
Yeah.
I don't know what confidentiality laws look like out here in terms of how easy it is to find him, but I'll do what I can.
Well, you can say, look, I called the ambulance for this guy. I was just checking in and make sure he's all right, It's still before lunch, so he may still be at the hospital. So,
Okay.
Enzo, are you going to the hospital with Klaus or
I
geocaching thing with...
I would love to join in this locating, but I do want to check on the person that I helped save yesterday. So
Okay.
I'm going to start at the
No
hospital.
worries. You two go in the hospital. Okay. Yeah, they can. Yeah, Klaus has destiny, so we can have a little bit of a contrivance of convenient good luck of they're just discharging this patient out. They've given him a pint of blood and some tea and biscuits and sandwiches and stuff to prop him up, and yeah, and he kind of recognised you both. Oh, it's good. Thank you for calling the ambulance. And then it's like, oh, okay, you two know each other. We can bugger off now. We've got other work to do. So you're in the waiting area of the hospital.
Okay, so I'm with this guy in the waiting area, and
Yep.
Am I correct in understanding he's just been discharged then?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would like to do is to essentially do a little bit of questioning about if he was with anybody, if there was anything taken from him, if it was like a mugging, if he knows why he might have been attacked by this particular person. And as I'm speaking to him, I'd like to see if this is jogging any kinds of memories that he's having that I might use to get a little bit more information on the assailant.
Okay. So you're questioning, is it like empathetic, or is it more we need the facts, sort of detective investigation? What's your approach, I guess?
I guess I'm gonna go with more of an empathetic approach, given that's where my strengths lie.
Yeah.
So I suppose in that case, the information I would be getting would focus more on his emotions.
How he's
and-
feeling, and yeah.
Right, which is still relevant. That's kind of be where some of that. I mean, there's once you start tapping into emotions, you definitely can get more information on the person's
Yep.
memories connected to the.
All right, so
souls.
if you want to roll charisma plus empathy, so 6 dice.
Oh, okay. 7, 8, 8.
So one will take away the other. So you got 2 successes. So if you want to do your mind roll, your 3 dice, you've got 2 successes to add to that. You're chatting away, you've got a rapport going. He's glad you came back and concerned about him.
Okay.
You're saying he was having a good night. He saw a mediocre action film. He just wanted to get home. Bam! This guy came out of nowhere. The guy had BO. He knew it was a guy. There was no perfume, no deodorant, nothing. It was a big guy. He stank a bit of sweat, maybe even a little bit of mold.
Okay,
3 successes. So
yeah. 3 successes
smashed
on
it.
mind.
All right. Are you sort of going in as well, Enzo, or are you just chatting to him? Or
So the reason I joined is I'm concerned that, vampires and ghouls and all those
they're
things,
going to come back or something?
and they infect others, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to do my own thing of like detecting life on him to make sure that his life seems whole and complete and not like a seed of unlife has been planted or whatever.
Okay. I'm not even going to make you roll. It's like his health bar's coming back up. He's just had a pint of blood. He's been given some food and stuff. He's alive, a little bit shaky, sure, but getting better. It's not like draining rapidly, and he's not dying or anything. So he's obviously been ill, but getting better.
Okay, so I think I'm just like taking his pulse and like measuring medical things a little too closely while he's having this conversation.
Okay, so you explain you've got some medical background, and and like the pulse it's not strong, but it's all right. He doesn't appear to be photosensitive or anything that you'd expect from ghouls and vampires and that. So everything seems legit.
So I'll let Klaus finish the conversation or whatever was going on there.
Yeah, sure. I think that gets me. I think most of what I can get out of him. So basically, the takeaways is that this guy was definitely male, had some kind of scent of body odor and mold on him. Doesn't sound like he has a clear motive that's identifiable. Nothing was taken. He was just
no wallet taken. It wasn't a mugging. It was a blood mugging, not a wallet mugging.
Okay, so his blood was taken.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, they had to do a transfusion.
So like 3 points at least.
How did he take the blood from him?
Oh, it was drunk from him.
Oh, so this was.
So he bit him on the neck, sucked out a huge bowl of blood, and then licked it, and it healed up.
Interesting. Okay, so this is probably more of a vampire thing than a ghoul thing.
Oh, well, it depends. Some of them do have that sort of thing if they've been a ghoul a while or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Now, because you rolled so well, you do actually have the option to change that memory a bit. I mean, he's not super aware of it all anyway. You went in pretty deep. You can change what the guy looked like if you want him to remember someone else.
I see no reason to do that at this point, but that's good to be aware of for the future.
Okay. But yeah, he's recovering.
I guess I'll just leave him a business card and make sure that he knows if he needs any alignment corrections. I'm glad to give him a first session on the house.
Yep. He thanks you both, and staggers out of the hospital. All right, off to the going around town. So you're going around Munich. Traffic's not bad as far as European cities go. There's definitely worse ones out there. It's I mean, and a lot of people will use public transport here. The barn and the U barn are pretty good. So you're going around town. All right. So you want to roll. You're definitely taking your time, so you can get a lower target number for that.
Okay. And yeah, just a retake. I'm going to, again, spend a lot of willpower doing this. This is a genuine magical mystery, which might hold some valuable secrets for her progression. So she's spending the willpower. And yeah, she's going to be wandering the streets with a kind of a...
Well,
rifle
another
pad in
option
hand.
is, because you're taking like all day to do this, you could roll like chemistry or geology, and you've put all these equations into your phone and your notepad and stuff to work it out. So you could roll that if you want, because you spent like 8 hours doing this. It's not
just spend the day doing it. Yeah. I'll roll academics geology, because like it's geography. It's geography really.
Yeah.
And looking at how the built environment interacts with the natural environment and how that should shape the flow of...
I'm thinking
of
intelligence academics, but
Intelligence academics? Yep, absolutely. That is going to make it... How many?
6.
6 plus.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Not amazing. That's a 10 and a 1.
So you probably think maybe this might not be ley line related.
I
can still do your
I
magic,
did spend the
but, like-
willpower.
Oh, okay, yep. So you get 1 success there. So you're like, Or it may just be you get stuck in traffic a lot and you can't get exactly to the places you need to where the points of the ley lines meet. You can still do your magic roll. You just don't have a bunch of successes to add to it.
Right. Yeah.
The science isn't gelling. There's something you feel like you're missing something.
Yeah. The method isn't perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do the roll. So just rolling 1 die, and we hope it comes up pretty okay. 10.
All right. Because hang on, I thought you were using willpower for the retail roll, not for the science roll.
Okay. Right. Oh, okay.
In that case, you'd have 2
I
successes.
counted the willpower for the last one. I didn't count it for this
Oh,
one.
okay.
So like it's 10 nonetheless. Get 1 success.
All right. So I forgot what the ritual did now.
Oh, sorry. It's for basically finding prime, and then the idea of like using awareness or whatever to find out, like, is there disturbance in the flow? Basically, is it all?
Yes, there is.
As it should be. Okay.
So, and it is stronger near in the suburb your sanctum is.
Okay.
So yeah, you can do little bits of magic and you're doing your science, which doesn't sort of add up. But yeah, you kind of figure, in the suburb that your sanctum is in, there's something wrong there. There wasn't a week ago. Because obviously you set up your sanctum in a good spot in the first place.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, she's going to like open up the group chat, I suppose. And go like my place again for dinner.
I mean, you can't say no. You can say no. I know a good cafe on blah 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 or whatever.
Again? Question mark, exclamation point.
Immediately takes offense to this. Like, what do you mean again? Do you not like my cooking?
No, it's great. It's fine.
There is, what else is there? There's an internet cafe you could go to.
Yeah, I think I will counter propose the cafe.
And there's a nightclub.
Yeah, no.
And I'll point out that I've got a card for expenses.
Given to you by her mentor.
Yeah. Like, she's going to like text back like, I know he's an alchemist, but like gold is still precious. But like it's fine. You like if my cooking is a problem, you can just say
Your cooking is great. I have a card. We need to use the card.
It's burning a hole in your pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, no, she's going to like type back fine. Just fine, send, next message, the order will hear about this.
Well, I mean, he gave you the card to use, so.
Oh yeah, no, he did. No, like, you know, that's it's very much a question of whether she is joking or is she not. She's leaving that ambiguous.
So, it's an internet cafe, you know, you can get wedges and pizza and kebabs and, you know, Kransky sausages, all sorts of shit. And yeah, some of the decor seems very 90 based, but like deliberately. And there's posters of stuff like The Net and Hackers and all these sort of wonderful internet based films. Or is there something anyone wanted to do before they got there? Or are you happy to just transition to?
I'm fine on my end.
Yeah, I think I'm good with shifting to the nightclub or the
All right.
the cafe.
Yeah. All right. So going to the cafe. So
No,
it's night.
I'm good to be there. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you're at night. There's plenty of people there. Plenty of gaming addicts. Happily playing shit. I don't know. Aeon, WoW, all sorts of stuff. And then the cafe section is a little bit quieter. Not the most comfortable furniture, but you're not supposed to be sitting there for an hour. You're supposed to have a quick meal and then bugger off back onto games. That's what they expect, sort of thing. But there are private rooms upstairs if you want to have a meeting and a private LAN session.
Yeah, I've reserved one of those private meeting areas.
Yep.
Shouldn't break the bank. It'll be fine.
Nah. It's like $50. So,
Yeah.
Done. $50, 50 euros. Let's get it correct. Okay. All right. So yeah. There's like an electronic menu thing. You just say, we want 3 lots of pizza and 2 wedges, and they'll bring it up in like 15.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've already got like 3 pizzas on the table.
Enjoy. Klaus, what are you eating?
I imagine I have. Trying to think of something that's not even appropriate for this place. I don't know. They probably don't even have cannoli, but I have some somehow.
I mean, you can have a line of Coke if you want. It's up to you.
That's true.
You know.
That's true.
It's a private room. No
rules here.
You won't get it from here. You would have had to bring it yourself. But yeah, I mean.
Well, well, actually, come to think of it, I'm such a Belle Epoque kind of person. What with the absinthe before, maybe I've brought some opium or something like that. Like, not like modern stuff like pills or heroin, but like opium.
Yep. Okay.
Keeping it classical.
Right.
Yeah, we have one person with like the pizza, another person with the opium. Christina has brought like a boxed lunch, bit of rice, bit of
like
stir-fried vegetables. Yeah. Just a Tupperware box.
Oh dear. All right. That's pretty typical Mage group. They're all very odd to each other, but that's all good. All right. I mean, the food from here is not bad, but it's not necessarily nutritious.
But how was our victim? Not our victim, but like the victim.
Right. Yes, they're in fine health. They're recovering. Klaus, you learned more about their perspective. I was really focused on how healthy they were, and they seem in good order.
Well, they're experiencing the routine emotional reactions to this kind of assault. They have strong sensory memories, scent of mold, body odor, And out of character, if people haven't already been made aware that we have a blood mugging on our hands, I'll go ahead and let people know that that was the case as well.
I'd like to think that in character you call it a blood mugging.
A classic blood mugging.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the idea. So, I mean, this is unquestionably a vampiric thing. The thing that I don't get is what any of this has to do with the fog that we ran into before. It almost seems like they're two totally disconnected things, but they surely aren't.
And the ringing, right? It's like three
Well, the
separate
metallic,
threads
yeah.
that don't seem connected yet.
Well, you have heard of vampires and ghouls, or at least vampires that can create fog or become fog. That's in
Right.
regular mythology, let alone supernatural sort of lore. So that may be related to that, but not the ringing. That does seem separate.
Mm.
The only time you hear the ringing is when you guys did magic, not when anyone else did anything.
Christina, just like the ringing is where I come in. I have discovered some type of primal disruption around where
You can name the suburb, but you don't have to.
But around the sanctum of the Solificati in Munich. It's not a chantry yet, but our workshop is has been compromised. And I'm trying to figure out if this is just a natural degradation or if somebody has tampered with the flow of the Earth's natural forces.
I mean, mining companies do that all the time, but but
yes, the geology degree is telling her that maybe intensive mining hasn't happened in Munich city center, but
no,
probably
no. There's bugger all new mining or gas development in Germany. They're very pro environment at this point in history.
Yes. Now there was some tunnel digging which took place for the U-Bahn, but that was some time ago.
Yeah,
and I haven't heard of
that's been happening over in Stuttgart for about 10 years, but not in Munich, and that's 200 kilometers away.
Yes. So unless they've hit some manner of correspondence point somewhere in Stuttgart, this is much more local interference. It seems a rather benign effect. If someone is going to deliberately sabotage a primal flow to distort the Earth itself, why do it to make people? Why do it to give people tinnitus?
Well, and I mean, so here's my fear: is it's just the beginning. You heard our friend say before he left town that it's getting louder, right? How loud's it going to get?
This is true, but that could just be a natural degradation.
It could also be a side effect of something else. Magic often has multiple effects. It's not just this equals this. But
yeah, interesting.
It is perhaps paradoxical. But would we all be incurring the wrath of paradox whenever we invoke the arts, even in the heart of a sanctum? That doesn't make sense.
No, and certainly not in the same way. It's generally unique to your avatar, your magic, and what you're doing at that specific point in time.
But yeah, no, Christina has thrown a bunch of sheets out across the table again. Some of them from yesterday, and there's some of them new. And again, just brainstorming as much as she can.
What's Klaus up to with all this?
Yeah, I'm inclined to go with the sanctum option that was mentioned just a moment ago. I'm not that worried about invoking paradox at this point. What I want is to just identify leads and follow up on them kind of as quickly as possible. So what route are you thinking of going with? And I guess I'm asking Christine this.
Christina says our first port of call should be to determine, is this deliberate, accidental, or natural? And the easiest thing to look for would be signs of tampering. Is somebody invoking arts or sciences to disrupt our workings?
Mm-hmm.
Such consistent or even increasing intensity means consistent or increasing effort. And so we should be able to find such signs if they exist.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I don't know what to look for.
Yeah, that's what I've been pondering as well, is like, how do you determine what you're
Well, I
looking
mean,
for?
each of the spheres has a kind of base. The bottom level is like perception of things involving that. So you can just sort of look around the area, but you can also look around the area with your mundane senses and say, hey, these birds keep doing figure eights around this one building. What the hell's with that? You know, and just go and have a look around the area.
Yeah. I think,
you can check the papers to see if anything weird's happened there.
I mean, we are in an internet cafe. I could jump on a chat room or something and see if there's any local, kind of like the papers, but just digital papers instead of for.
Yeah. I'm going to say Klaus actually lives in that suburb, so they
okay.
could talk to people that live in there,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
area.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I imagine that I would be relatively well known to my neighbors, as I seem to be kind of a talkative, loquacious sort. A lot of them know who I am if we're not friends anyway.
Yep.
So, no, that's fine. I can start knocking on doors or saying hello to people who are out in the streets and casually bringing it up in polite conversation.
I think Christina is going to also hop on a computer and check local newspapers for news dated a week ago, prominent updates, or maybe even less prominent headlines, but things that would get reported surrounding that particular neighborhood.
So, Klaus, are you going to ask around the area tomorrow, sort of thing? Because it's like 8 at night at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say no one's going to be out, so I will table that for tomorrow, and then
just enjoy the meal, chill out.
Yeah, tag along anyone else with other investigation they want to do tonight, but otherwise I'll get to it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think they're just both kind of hopping on computers at the minute.
Yeah.
All right, so Enzo, so
Oh, look, someone lost a cat.
you don't have computer use or investigation, so
Oh, that's really bad.
check internet. But I mean, you could ask someone at the cafe if you want, or you could just ask Klaus to do it for you, because they do have computer investigation.
Yeah, I think we
How
have
do I
that
look for this?
on computers that are like side by side, and it's like, Klaus, I need your help here. All I'm finding is these posts about cats. There's got to be more on the internet.
It's YouTube. Try not to laugh. You have to watch 8 minutes of this stupid shit.
Yeah.
I do have some mundane abilities in things like research and academics, if there is something that we are looking for.
Yep. Okay. Research 1. Yep, so if you want to roll, because it's a lot of information, so I'm going to say you can actually use wits plus research, so 5 dice.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of siphoning through, no, yes, no, like that.
Oh, that doesn't look too good.
Ooh. No, it's like lots of crap about stuff other places, or nothing's happening here in the last week.
Just to confirm, I got 2 1s and 1 success. I forget, is that an especially bad roll, or does it just mean it's a miss?
It's a miss. Yeah. If you
Okay.
only got failures, then it would be a botch, and maybe the computer zapped you or some shit. Yeah, no, it's just they cancel each other out. So yeah, nothing special. But hey, it's not like, oh yeah, a plane crashed and killed 100 people in that suburb. Nothing stupidly obvious. You know, it's like no, it doesn't look like much has happened there. Christina.
Christina doesn't have computers, but she does have research. So she'll need somebody to turn the machine on for her. But once it's on, she can go.
I don't think these things would ever be off.
Amazing.
Well,
Cafe.
and that's why we go to the cafe, is because they've got them turned on, they've got them connected. All you have to do is walk up and start using it.
You know, this isn't, you know, a touchpad. Like, this isn't anything she's used to. This isn't her thing. It's not.
I imagine Order of Hermes are very old school with physical books and stuff.
Oh yeah. But still, being as young as she is, there's the expectation she would be good with technology, and that is patently untrue, and that is why she's a good fit.
Okay.
So, intelligence and research.
Yeah, sounds right.
That is 5, I believe.
Yeah, and it's only going to be like 4 target number, because you're going for regular newspaper front page stuff. It's not hard to find.
Class.
Holy shit!
That's that. Yeah, 5 successes.
You've got a long list of stuff. There's a circus in town. There's this chain of cinemas are running MCU. This chain of cinemas running DC films. A list of all the interesting events in town. Nothing about like a bunch of deaths or unexpected digging or water pipe bursting. There is, but you did get a success, so it would be a young couple opened up a nightclub there, and there's a picture of them. Looking at the picture, 2 of them have like handcuffs as earrings, like miniature handcuffs as earrings, which Klaus can tell you is there's like a group of the BDSM community in town.
Oh, that could be fun.
Christina just turns around like, not the time.
Well, that is the sort of place a vampire would hang out, though. Really, though.
Well, yes, that's true.
There is depending on the type of club we're dealing with here, there could be no shortage of blood play going on.
Christina doesn't know how to handle this information. But just nods slowly, like, okay, like she's picking up what you're putting down. I suppose. And nightclub conversion, I suppose, would necessitate some level of renovation, structural alteration. Something could happen. Something could happen in the mix there.
Yeah, it may be a link to the vampire thing and not the ringing thing, but
yes, but it's better than nothing.
What else you got? Oh, and you find a report of your sister. Her name is in the paper. What's it? Robin, Jesse. This one, sister, cousin. I don't know.
I'd say cousin. We'll go with cousin.
I've got it. I'm going to share the picture. Yes, her name is in the paper. For DUI. that's drinking under the influence, so drink driving, basically. This has happened before.
That's yeah. Christina just it's a motivation for Christina to get into the arts. It is both an escape from family life, but it is also a means through which assistance can be rendered. Alchemy is, after all, the manipulation of chemicals and the body and the soul. And if anything can fix a problem involving all of those
you
things,
do the reverse of spiking her drinks.
Yeah, well, maybe not that, but certainly she hopes something that will help making go cold turkey much easier.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, you see her name as well. Jolly good. All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to do tonight, or should we skip to the next day?
I'm fine.
Next day is good with me.
Also good with the next day. Did I miss anything really exciting? I had to step away for a sec.
Christina was looking at stuff on newspapers and found something about her cousin, and a new BDSM nightclub's been set up.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The next day, we'll start with Klaus chatting to people in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Klaus, so you know there's a bakery nearby with a friendly baker. Before you'd even made your character, I'd already decided this, so I'll put up that picture. This baker, like the buns and rolls with like a pink swirl, got a little something extra in there, give you a bit of buzz during the day. And where I can come on to this is Amelia, a local baker. I should say your local baker.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's normally chatty, friendly person, bit of a morning person, because being a baker, they get up and do the work early. She doesn't seem her normal chatty self.
Well, I'll ask her if everything's going okay.
She's it's not too bad. Just I don't know. And she looks like she's been drawing on top of the sort of the bench where they normally serve up the buns and stuff. She's been drawing maps, and there's like a dozen bits of paper where she's been just doodling these maps, and there's sort of various patterns of streets in each of them.
I'll kind of like crane my head over the counter and have a look at them, and I'll just kind of ask in a casual yet matter-of-fact way what she's working on there.
Oh, just thinking about how the streets are laid out in the city. It's just interesting to me. I've just been thinking about it a lot lately.
Does
kind of flexing her fingers a bit and then drawing it again, and even when she's looking at you and smiling, she's still sort of drawing the whole time.
Interesting. Okay. Do I notice anything that kind of resembles the sort of geocache ley line kind of stuff that was getting investigated the other day?
That would be perception and awareness, so 3 dice.
3 dice. Okay. 10 and a 7.
Yeah, there's definitely some. It definitely seems familiar. Whether it's just because the streets follow the ley lines or her maps follow the ley lines, or no, but yeah, there's a definitely similarities there. And you've met Amelia, I don't know, like a dozen times. Never done any drawing. Never mentioned any interest in the streets.
Right, that's very strange. Can I use mind perhaps to see if she is under the influence of any kind of external force, like her
Sure.
mind
So
or
you buy some bread or buns or whatever to get her talking and occasionally glancing at you. So there's sort of a connection there. And yeah, roll your retain. So it's 3 dice.
Okay. Uh, 10-7 again.
And was mind. Thoughts. Yeah, she's thinking about the way that the streets are together, and it's important to her that they link up and they're connected. They're not just random lines. She's not thinking about what she's talking to you about the buns and cakes. That shit's just autopilot.
Interesting. Okay. And is there any kind of external force that seems to be acting on her? Or did she come to this on her own?
Not that you can tell, but you didn't have a strong link.
Okay. Okay. So basically, this is something that has caught her attention, but it's unclear exactly how she came to her attention or why she's kind of
Focusing on
it
it,
so
yes.
much.
Yep.
Okay, interesting. Okay, that seems reasonable to me. And what did you say her name was, just so I can kind of write it down?
Amelia.
Amelia. Okay, perfect.
And after you leave the bakery, there's something you notice. You can't hear any birds. It's normally there's a bird every couple of houses. You can hear it in the trees or on top of the building or whatever. You can't hear shit. You just haven't seen any birds for a couple of days in your neighborhood. Now you think about it. All right.
Interesting. Okay.
And we'll hit the pause button there. All right. Well, nobody died, so I'll try harder next time. No, just kidding. Yeah, any thoughts, feedback, anything? Things you want more of or less of? Or
I think it's a pretty cool system. I like just the pool of dice. Always a fan of a simple system like that. I'm gonna spend some time kind of understanding what these different categories of dice pools that I can pull, and I might want to shift some dice around between the first and second session. Would that be okay?
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Makes sense.
Okay.
And there is, there is a bit to the system because it's based from something from the 90s. So if you have a rule question, by all means ask. We're all here to have fun and stuff. I mean, I'm probably not running it exactly by the rules, but I'm still getting the hang of it too, because what you read and what you actually have in the game, it takes a while to synchronize.
Yeah.
But no, I'm having a great time. Yeah, no, it's fun to play Mage. I usually run, so no, it's fun to see people getting into the game, how they're playing their characters. That's always interesting to really get into the swing of practice and paradigm and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's my experience with Mages. Every time it's a bit like Mystery Men in the sense that you're trying to help, but you're a bunch of oddballs.
Yes, absolutely.
None of you are necessarily conservative or well-adjusted or anything. You're all just trying to help in your own quirky way, and that's cool.
And definitions of help vary.
Yep. I guess the one thing I'm really excited to see at some point is magic fail and whatever that magical backlash is. I'm sure that will come up. We were just excellent.
You were all rolling pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, Paradox is fun.
Yeah.
David, any thoughts on?
Yeah, no, nothing on my end. I'm still getting acquainted with the system. I've played a lot of the kind of what is called Chronicles of Darkness system in the past, but not very much of the classic stuff like this. So I'm just still getting accustomed to kind of what I can do, and I think my playstyle has been a lot of I'd like to do this. Is there a mechanic for that kind of thing? But I'm just feeling it out. So I think I just need to get a little bit more practice with the system. But it's a very fun story so far. I quite like where this is headed, and I think it's very creepy and interesting. So it's going well so far for me.
Creeping interesting is good. That's what I was aiming for.
Yeah. A good bit of mystery there.
Yeah, and it could be you guys are like, I don't know, I'm not really feeling this one, and you want to go and look at something else. That's fine too. I've got plenty of other shit to throw at you if this one isn't grabbing you or whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, so far I'm into this, so I'd like to keep working on this one for a while.
No worries.
Yeah, likewise.
I like the characters. You're all kind of a little bit scholarly. None of you are although generally Akashiana are sort of athletic type, but this is a thinking man's Akashiana, and that's fine. It's good to not go with the Bruce Lee stereotype sort of thing. But yeah, it's all good. Interesting characters. Normally, when I've come across Cult of Ecstasy, they just getting wasted half the time. So it's interesting to have one a bit more restrained. But that's a thing in games when you're playing someone into drugs or alcohol. You don't want to do it too much because then you're not really useful to the rest of the group because you're just baked. But yeah, it's all good. Anyone else have any thoughts?
I think it would be one of the things I would have enjoyed is if Christina's character was in the character keeper, so I could win, because it seems like you're really the pro at this game. I could look at like the stats that you have and how you're using them, and use that to kind of infer my own.
Absolutely. I'll get that sorted. That's I went off in a free one and statted my own character, and it's not in the keeper as a result. I'll get that fixed up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
To explain what 3 of those situations were, is basically if you can, when you're doing a magic, if you can think of a way where you'd be using your skills to enhance that role, like if before you're doing mind perception to see what people are thinking in the area, you might do like perception awareness roll to just kind of do a bit of Carter in the area and just sort of look around and see what you can see who reacts, see what does anything. And then if you get successes from that roll, you can add that to your magic roll.
Oh, yeah.
If you can think of a way where you add like a skill that makes sense in situation that you can do, then you can use successes from that and add it to the magic, because you can't do it all the time, but there are ways you can weave it into the story that makes sense, sort of thing.
Yeah, so I guess I'd like to do that once or twice in the next couple games. I did hear that done once, at least in this game, and it sounded interesting. So I'll keep an eye open for an opportunity for that.
Yeah, no, it's what I find about Mage is that you're an exceptional individual before you are a magic man kind of thing. Right. Everybody has the skills, and it's how they apply them that makes it really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's kind of an optional rule to do that, but it makes sense to me. So whenever possible, we'll do that in the story, because otherwise your spheres are kind of divorced from your skills. It's like, that's weird.
Right.
But alrighty. All right. Well, that's cool. I will end the broadcast.